Oh my God, Laura Roeder said yes to being on my telesummit. Shut your face, Sue Zimmerman said yes to an interview. What? Oh yeah, oh yeah. How would you like to interview your biggest idols and the biggest influencers in your industry? Well, in this episode, I'm going to walk you through my 5 tips for how to invite an influencer to an interview and get a big fat yes. Amanda Goldman-Petrie here, but you can call me AGP, and welcome back to Market Like a Nerd, the place to geek out about business and marketing strategies that maximize your profits while minimizing your efforts. And I've been so honored to interview countless millionaires, high-profile influencers, and people who I really admire. In October, I'm actually going to be releasing a telesummit where I'm interviewing 37 different millionaires and high-profile influencers, celebrities in our niche, people like Ree Perez, Adam Urbanski, Laura Roeder, Kimra Luna, Bushra Azar. I mean, I feel so bad for not mentioning all of them because they're incredible. And what I want to do is I want to share with you the 5 things that I kept in mind as I was inviting these people to these interviews. Stand in your power. What you absolutely don't want to happen is that you invite this influencer to an interview and they see you as a charity case, someone who's beneath them, who doesn't have the level of influence that they have. What you want to do is you want to stand in your power, stake your claim as a peer to them, and be confident in the value that you're going to be bringing to this interview or this collaboration. There are so many experts out there. Who's to say that you're not one of them? So if this influencer hasn't heard your name before, then for all they know, you could be a big freaking deal. Now, this is great because this means that you get to shape how they view you. So stand in your value so they see you for the powerhouse that you really are. Create a personal connection. Anytime that you're able to create a connection with an influencer, they're more likely to take you seriously and actually continue reading your email. Versus if you just go straight into the invite, it's going to sound like you're trying to use them. So leverage the connections that you have with that influencer, whether that means that you're a previous buyer, you've bought from them before, maybe a client of yours has purchased from them before, if you've been a long-time subscriber to their newsletter, if you listened to a recent interview that they did somewhere else before, or even if you just know a friend who knows a friend who knows a friend who knows them. The idea here is to create the know, like, and trust factor. So in your first couple lines, make sure you're creating that personal connection. Name drop. Just like a prospect is more likely to buy from you if they can see from case studies, testimonials, and Facebook snapshots that other people have already bought from you, an influencer is more likely to schedule an interview with you if they can see that other people have already done so. So if you're trying to schedule someone for your podcast, mention some of the past guests you've already had on your podcast. If you're trying to invite an influencer to a telesummit, then mention some of the names of the other speakers who you've already secured for that telesummit, whether they're big or they're small. Seeing that social currency and that proof that other people have already invested their time into doing these interviews with you makes it so much more likely that these people are going to take you up on the offer as well. Give them value. You've got to explain for this influencer what they're going to be able to get out of this interview or this collaboration. And to be honest, every collaboration that you do should be intentionally designed to create a win-win for both parties. So it's up to you to describe how you're going to do that in the invite email. Does this mean that you're going to help elevate their authority status by aligning them with other influencers in your niche? Does it mean you're going to help send traffic to their website or their free gifts by allowing them to pitch something for free at the end of your offer? And then what you definitely want to do is you want to explain how the level of value you give is a lot different than others who are doing the same thing. So for example, when I'm running telesummits, I always describe how I promote the hell out of their free gifts more so than what they'll see from other telesummits. Respect their time. Remember that these influencers probably get hundreds of emails per day and countless other requests for interviews as well. So you want to make sure that yours stands out in the inbox. One of the ways that I do that is by being really organized and having all of my stuff together before I even invite them to the interview. And I basically collect all of the information that they would need to make the decision. I anticipate some of the questions that they'll have, and I prepare some of the answers to those questions, and I put it all in one email. But I don't want to overload them in that email, so what I do is I make it perusable, I make it readable by creating capsed, bolded headlines for each section and then bullet points underneath of that. What that means is that they have all of the information and frequently asked questions that they need to make the decision all in one place, and it's skimmable too. When you have that level of thought and intention that goes into your invite and it's organized and it's presented in that way, it really stands out and it's more likely that they're going to say yes. So if you want to interview your idols and other high-profile influencers in your industry, now you have the 5 tips for how to do it. First, you want to stand in your power and stake your claim as a peer and powerhouse in your industry so they can be confident about collaborating with you. Create a personal connection in the first couple sentences of your email so you can create the know, like, and trust factor before you ask them to do something. Name drop where possible and leverage those names of past influencers who you might have interviewed for the same sort of thing. Explain the value so that they can see this as a win-win for everyone. And then finally, respect their time, get your stuff in order, nice and organized in one little email that's really easy for them to skim so it's easy for them to say yes. Aw, snap, I got a swipe for that. How would you like a template for the exact email invitation that I used to secure interviews with high-profile influencers and millionaires for my upcoming telesummit? Click the button below to request access and I'll send it right on over to your inbox.